Hey, welcome back to My Church is Your Church. I was just sitting here thinking, I'm still at the lake in the boat launch area, and I was just thinking about, in the last video I was talking about how I talk to God, just like I'm talking right now, and I was sitting here like this thinking, and I was talking to God before I turned on the camera and stuff. Then I got thinking, maybe sometime I should, right when I'm getting ready to talk to God, maybe I should just turn on the camera and talk to God about whatever it is I feel like talking about. And make that into a video. There'd be nothing wrong with that as long as it ain't all personal or something like too deep or personal. But one thing for sure, you're getting the real deal here. I'll just turn on the camera and let it rip. And we're into 400 and some videos here. And the very beginning, I did a little bit of editing of cutting out because for a couple different reasons. One of my first few videos, I ended up blubbering a lot and didn't want everybody looking at me crying for a while, so I cut out my crying section. And then, and just because I'm talking about crying and stuff, don't think I'm a little wimpy boy. I'm not. I'm a man's man, but I'm also a human being too, and I ain't afraid to admit it or talk about it, you know. So then other areas in some of my beginning videos where it's cut out a lot more, my SD card was old, and I was pretty sure that's what it was, but I wasn't positive it was that in the camera or what. But it was stressing me out. I'd be recording, and like right now while I'm recording, I can see a little red light on the little 1-inch monitor screen where I can see myself. I can see that red light on there flashing, so I know it's recording. But when I'm driving, I ain't paying attention to it. That SD card was getting bad. So I'd be talking on, and I'd look over, and that red light wouldn't be flashing anymore. It'd shut off on its own. And I'd have started again. Sometimes it would last a long time, sometimes it would cut out quick. And when I was sitting still, then I could keep an eye on it, you know, and then if it quit, I could start again. But what that means is then when I edit it, each time it shut off, it shows a cut where you see it jump, you know, or a glitch. You know, even if I'm sitting in the same seat, instead of my head being here, it might be over here, you know, so you'll see that little glitch or jump. You know, or if my head's turned this way, and then the next clip it might be this way, you know, or something. So, but then you can see where those different cuts come together from one filming to the next filming. And now that I've got a good SD card, thank you, Tony, that hasn't happened. So when I hit record, I can just let it go, and I don't have to worry about that editing stuff. I just had 2 ducks come flying in. It was kind of cool. As their wings start flapping, they're gliding in, and then they started flapping to slow themselves down as their back ends were dropping and their feet were coming out to this landing gear. It was cool. 2 of them. Canadian ducks or whatever. Well, they're not big geese or that. They're ducks with the green heads. Mallards, is that what they are? I think that's what it is, mallards. It's cool seeing them come in and land though. So one thing I can say about this channel for sure is it's real. I'm not scripting it, you know, and I'm not doing multiple takes to get it to sound perfect and stuff like that. Because I got so much going on in my life right now. And in the beginning, God wanted me to start talking about it more. So in the beginning, before I even started this channel, I knew if I did this channel while I was thinking about it, creating it and stuff, that would, if God wants me to talk about it more, I'm doing that with the general public as it is. But if I make a channel like this, then that's got the potential for anybody around the world, a lot of people that could find this channel or watch it, you know. So if God's asking me to talk about him more, well, that just expands the audience that could possibly hear me. And it's not like God said, you know, I want you to teach scripture or this or that, or he just said he wanted me to start talking about it more. I was sweating that in the beginning for a little bit, wondering if I was doing it right or wrong or what, until I remembered he just wanted me to talk about it more. So That might change. I'm glad with the way it is right now. Let's just stick with that for a while, Lord. I don't want to have to stand on any big stages or anything right now. Even though I'm on the world stage via camera, it's not the same as having them all there at once in front of you. So, when I say it's the real deal, I just turn it on and record, and I knew that would benefit me in the long run doing it that way, because not only does it make the channel real, I'm not doing cuts and edits and scripting it, trying to make it perfect. It's something that I'm not, you know. It's me, you know. If I make a mistake while I'm talking, or mispronounce a word, or say something silly, or say pick the wrong word or something, you get to see it, you know. You get to see the humanity in me, and that I'm not perfect either, you know. But before I started this channel, I wasn't even going to start it, because I thought, well, my life's such a wreck right now, you know, and, you know, I'm not, well, depending on how you look at it, I guess, you know, society, according to the majority of society, I didn't feel like my life was up to snuff, you know, and I just thought, well, I better wait till my life's in better shape, you know. Then I got thinking about it. No, if God wants me to talk about Him, what a better time to start sharing everything about me than when I'm going through the mud, you know, in the thick of the stuff. You know, that just helps add to the testimony. So all these videos I've done up to now, 400 some videos of all the struggle I've been going through, and I still have my faith in God. As much as life is kicking the tar out of my derrieres, I still know God exists. I know it, and I know there's a reason for it all. So all this is doing is that future videos, I'm making these little blackbirds, watching them play around with each other. In future videos, when this change does come, I've already got all this testimony almost a year prior now, showing day-to-day struggles and day-to-day. Some days I'll be laughing or joking while I'm telling stories, but other days you can tell I'm feeling really down, you know, that it's getting the best of me a little bit, you know, where I'm not all happy and laughy-jokey, you know, and it's stressing me out. So I'm scooping out, taking my life, and if it wasn't for God asking me to talk about Him, I probably wouldn't have done it. But I've said it in other videos too, is I got a healthy fear of the Lord, and I knew it was for a reason, for betterment, for the world, or to help people, or whatever. And since I've been doing it, I know it's already helped people. I've had people talk to me or write to me, or, you know, and I'm uploading on the 2 different platforms right now. I know there's more platforms, but I'm still learning these platforms, and got a lot more to learn, and because of where my life is right now, I can't keep learning all kinds of stuff. Well, I'm trying to figure it out, and well, I'm doing it anyway, but I just can't wait for the good stuff. Well, I can. I don't have a choice, but I'm looking forward to it. And maybe it's tomorrow. Lord? Is it tomorrow? Could it be tomorrow when the good stuff starts happening? Should be nice. I'm saying that quite a bit too. Heck, I'd be good with it happening in the next 5-10 minutes. It's 3:26. How about a 4 o'clock appointment, Lord? Oh, my goodness gracious. Oh, God likes my humor. I'm sure He does, because He knows I'm playing. I'm serious too, but I'm glad that I can laugh at some of the stressful things in life. You know, make life a lot. Helps you enjoy life more when you're able to see humor and stuff, or just kind of laugh it off. I mean, even when you're feeling down, it even helps pull you away from that negative sadness or whatever. You know, when you can laugh, sometimes you find the humor in it, and that humor will take you right out into a whole new attitude. You know. There goes the 4-wheeler. I don't know if you guys can see him coming down, zipping along there. I have to turn this a little more so you can see him sneaking up. Gave him the old head nod. Universal head nod. Oh, he's heading to the outhouse, I think. Oh no, garbage, recycling. Oh, maybe he's going to use one of the outhouses. He might be. Oh, just recycling. Oh, wait. Oh, recycling. He just threw something in recycling and off he goes. Well, that's nice of him. Now, my friend Mandy wouldn't appreciate that. Because when we go walking around the parks and that, sometimes we'll even carry a little, like, Walmart bag or something. And, not that often, but sometimes we wish we had one with us, so sometimes we'll have something with us. But then when we start seeing, like, garbage laying around something, when we're walking on trails or something around areas like this, we'll pick up garbage. And then throw it in where it belongs. I got quit littering a long time ago when I was younger. Yeah, you did a little bit of littering when I was younger. And then I started seeing it different and seeing what litter affects and everything. So then I started not littering, you know. And then I went from that to hang out with my friend when she'd pick stuff up. Well, that rubbed off on me a little bit. Now I do it whether I'm with her or not. When I'm walking around, if I see junk laying like cans or bottles or something like that, you know, especially in an area like this when they got the containers over there for trash and recycling. Well, it doesn't hurt to take up a few extra steps, and even though somebody shouldn't have left their garbage there, you know, it doesn't hurt me to pick it up and clean it up so it don't end up in the lake or something and killing some fish or a turtle or something. Frogs, that's okay. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just teasing. It's not exclusive to fish and turtles. Ooh, I can see the color change in the lake, like halfway across, almost like it's deeper in here and it's like a shallow flats over there or something. But no, that could be the sun peeking through the clouds. I bet you that's what it is. That's what it is. There's a thinner cloud and the sun is shining on it different over there. That's what it is. It's actually kind of enjoyable sitting at this boat launch because I've been so in that dang Walmart lot so much. Don't get me wrong, I like the people at Walmart, especially the employees and stuff, and all the people that I meet around town and stuff. But man, I miss having income to where I can bounce more. And otherwise, if I had income, I know I could replenish gas a little easier, then I would I'd come do this kind of stuff more often. You know, I'd come over here, and as long as they don't chase me away, it's open 24 hours. I could see coming and staying a couple days over here, you know. And since I don't have internet no more, I would plan that to where after I got so many videos filmed that needed editing, well, then I'd come park over here, and I've got movies and shows downloaded on my tablet. So I got stuff to watch even though I've seen it before. And I've actually just recently I downloaded some movies and stuff with my YouTube downloader or whatever. And I downloaded some movies that I haven't seen yet, I don't think. I don't know if they're the greatest movies, but still it's something new that I haven't seen. So that way, if I'm in an area where I don't have internet, like today, if I decided to stay here, which I'm not gonna tonight, but then I could, I'd have something to watch, keep my mind busy, you know, if I start getting bored or something. I got so much to do now that the weather's getting nicer. I got house cleaning to do here in the camper. Because being cooped up in the winter, you know, in the freezing cold weather, it's hard to do a lot of spring cleaning and stuff because you gotta keep windows and doors shut to keep the heat in, you know. Now that it's getting closer to spring weather, we're still getting it's bouncing right now in Minnesota. We're supposed to get down to 33 tonight. That's Fahrenheit, so it's like 1 degree above freezing. We got frost warnings. So we're having some swings. We got last week before we had an 81 degree day and then 70s. and then the night I had them swinging back to cold. But spring's getting closer, and I got a lot to get done with the camper. Even if I don't have an income, I've got stuff I can do because I've got tools. I got produce my own power. I got rechargeable cordless screw gun and stuff, so I can recharge the batteries on that and stuff. So I got regular 120 horsepower in here too. So I got as much 12 volt and 120 AC horsepower for everything I need other than running the roof air conditioner. And I've never ran out of power. That's one thing that I'd kind of like to. I wish, man, if I had a bunch of money, there's so many different things I'd like to do. I want to help people too, but one project I would like to try to work on building is I'd like to build an electric camper. I've already had, before Tesla even came out, I had started designing some stuff and some ideas for electric camper, and I started because I don't know, even though I'm very smart and math is one of my favorite subjects. At the time, I didn't know nothing about. I knew electronics a bit too, and I just started, at that point I'd already learned about capacitors, resistors, transistors, integrated circuits, different stuff like that actually goes on a circuit board. And I knew enough about big power too, alternating current and different AC/DC and alternating current and voltage and watts and stuff a bit. But I didn't know the math formulas for what motors for doing an electric vehicle or that. What the motor draw was compared to battery power. Then you also need to calculate in the weight you're pulling, then inclines, what you'd be pulling on it just on level ground. Then inclines, how much it's depreciating on any type of hill or incline. Then you got to factor in wind. If you got wind at your back or headwinds, just to kind of get the calculation so you know what you're building, so you don't build something that can drive 3 miles and it quits, And we've gotten way beyond that, because now I think the Tesla vehicles are that. I think they can go on a charge, they can maybe go 300 mile range or something like that. I don't know. Don't quote me because I can't remember. But it's gotten better. Now, me talking about building an RV, I'd already figured out the math I was doing on stuff. That was before Tesla came out with some of the. It was before Tesla even really came out with anything major. Then when they came out with the first sedan deal or whatever and what it would do, or no, the sports model before the sedan. My dad was still alive then, and my stepfather, he's my dad, and he was an electronic engineer. So when I started reading the stats on that Tesla sports car, I couldn't believe it. So I started telling Dad about it. He couldn't hardly believe it either. So I said, "No, Dad, I'm for real. This Tesla car is amazing, So I pulled it up on his computer, the pages that I found the information on, so he could read through it. And I said, "Well, here, Dad," I said, "I don't mean to take over your computer, but I pulled up after so many windows." And I said, "I'll just leave on these windows, and now here, go back to your windows, and it's there for you. That way, if you're going to look at it, you can click over to it, Well, I know him well enough. That was like dangling candy in front of a kid. He's an electronic engineer, and I'm telling him about this Tesla vehicle that is blowing his mind. Actually, when I got one of those shaker flashlights one time. I don't know where I'm at here, but let's wrap this up here. Okay, so Dad's an electronic engineer, right? He was blown away by the Tesla deal went to him, but before that even, the shaker flashlights. I don't know if you've ever seen them. Shake them, and they got an LED bulb in them, and you turn it on and it lights. There's no batteries or nothing. What it is, there's a magnet in there, and then there's a capacitor, and that's what it's doing, is charging that capacitor. And then that capacitor's got a resistor or whatever coming off the capacitor that allows the minimal voltage that it needs for lighting up that LED, so it don't just blast it all with all that energy at once. And then by shaking it, that little magnet going back and forth in front of a little I guess we'll call it a magnetic sensor. I can't think of what it's called right now. But because a magnet has positive and negative polarity, but when you're shaking it back and forth like that, it just like stimulates electrons, which the electrons get moving down and store that energy in the capacitor. And then the light, it was amazing. He was amazed by that when I told him I had this flashlight, and it was clear, smoked clear plastic, so you could see all the electronic in it. And first thing he had to do was unscrew it and take it apart and look at the parts. And I could just see his fascination with it and understanding. He knew all that stuff better than me. That's where I learned a lot of it. I had him start explaining me. Like, I love Lucy show. Lucy, you got some explaining to do. Anyway, Dad would explain this stuff to me because I'd ask him about, basic electronics and stuff and have him teach me this stuff because I like learning. Well, this flashlight deal. So he's like, well, it can't last very long. I said, no, Dad, mine's lasted quite a few days without much shaking. I mean, I know the thing's moving around when I'm carrying it, but, and because he was thinking you have to really shake it a lot of times and stuff. So what we did is I said, okay, well, let me give this one a good charge. So I kept shaking it around until I felt like I got a good charge in it, and then we turned it on and set it in front of his desk deal on one of the little shelves there. And we just left it on sitting there. And I come back later in the night. I'm like, good, quit yet? He said, no. And I could tell he was surprised. He couldn't believe that it was still going up for however many hours it was still going. And I don't know how long those things would last on a good shaking charge, but and it's not like a super bright light to, light up a whole room super bright, but it was enough light, camping or in the dark if the power went out. You could turn it on, you're going to be able to see where you're going and moving around and stuff, And you could hold it and read a book with it too, I mean, it's not super bright light, but, definitely good enough for any type of power outage in the darker set, and you don't have to ever worry about a battery. You just shake it and it charges that capacitor. I'd like to get some more of those lights. I don't know where they all went now, with all my storage stuff gone and all that stuff, but I'll get some more of them one of these days here. I would like to actually have a few of them in the camper here. Not that I need them, but the thing is when the lights go out and your batteries are dead, that's when you need it. And I ain't got it right now. Oh, my subjects bounce around. Once again, thank you for watching. God bless you. I hope you come back, and we'll see you on the next one.